reading is supposed to be a hobby. I was not expecting to enjoy this book so much. I just want to say that I'm so proud of myself. Hi fellow readers, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marie and today we are doing a little full TBR wrap-up. I read all the books, well minus one, almost all the books that were on my full TBR, so here goes nothing. There is only one book on the TBR that I DNF'd, and that is A Scanner Darkly by Philip K. Dick. I read halfway through the book and decided to put it down because I was really not into it, and I've decided not to keep on reading the things that I don't like, the things that I don't enjoy, because reading is supposed to be a hobby and this one was giving me a hard time, so I decided to put it down. And I read all the other books on the TBR. Here you will only see the books that are in English because all the books that I read in French were not translated into English. So if you want to see the books that I read in French, then you should go check out my other wrap-up, which will be up probably next week, where I will include the French books because I will be doing it in French. So first surprise of the fall TBR, I read Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. So in this story you follow Violet Sorrengail, who is being forced by her mother to join the Writers' Quadrant in college because her whole family are writers except for her father, who passed away. The thing is, it's not a decision that you have to take lightly because in this you either graduate or you die. So her life is being put on the line by her own mother. I was not expecting to enjoy this book so much, so I am very excited for the second book, which I have and that I will be reading very soon. So I really loved the dynamic between the characters, and first off, can we talk about Violet Sorrengail? She's like the best. So this was a very good read and I can't wait for book 2, and once I'm done with book 2 I will buy the third book in the series, and then I will have to wait just like everyone else to read the rest of the series. But I really enjoyed it. The plot was not overly complicated and the characters had me kicking my feet, and that just like never happens. Then I read The Catcher in the Rye by JD Salinger. In this book you follow a teenager who's been kicked out of college and who decides to leave early. So he is roaming the streets of New York City for 3 days before he decides to go home. I did not particularly enjoy this book because it just gave me a vibe that I didn't like. As in, like, I really didn't like the main character because we were literally in his head and I didn't like being inside his head. So I don't really know what I can say about it other than it just didn't really click with me. Then I want to talk about this book very briefly because you cannot read it since it's a Spanish book. I bought this book in Malaga back in 2023. I've just read it. I just want to say that I'm so proud of myself for reading this book. And I think now I'm going to try and read more Spanish books because I do have a lot on my TBR. And I don't know, I think I was just like kind of blocked, like scared. And like maybe lazy. Maybe it's a bit of laziness as well. So I just have no more excuses. And I am so thrilled that I understood most of this book, so I think there will definitely be another Spanish book on my TBR for this winter, so stay tuned for that. I read The Gospel of Loki by Joanne M. Harris. So in here you follow Norse mythology, but from Loki's point of view, like everything that happens from the beginning till Ragnarok, but from Loki's point of view, which was rather interesting. It took me a while to get into this book, really. I don't know why. I think it was just like kind of long getting started. But once I was into it, I couldn't put it down. Then I read The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. This is a collection of stories, but like gore kind of stories, which is perfect for Halloween. I really liked the first story, which is The Bloody Chamber. And then my second favorite was Puss in Boots. It was written in a way that really fit the whole dark mystery, vampires, like all that kind of stuff. Now, I'm not really a big fan of this kind of stories, as in like it scares, I get scared because there's a movie that plays in my head when I read a book. So if it's a scary book, I will have the movie in my head and it scares me, and I don't need much to get scared. So this is definitely not my kind of book. It's also the reason why I don't really like thrillers or horror. I just really got caught up in the dark vibe of it, and I did not enjoy it because I don't like getting scared, I don't like scaring myself and stuff like that. So it has nothing to do with the book and everything to do with me, because the book was very, very well written in a way that literally made me forget that it was a book. If you don't know what to read for fall season and Halloween season, I highly recommend The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter, because it really delivered. Then I read Daughter of a Dead Empire by Carolyn Tara O'Neil. In this book you follow Anna, who is fleeing after her family's massacre. So she's all alone in Russia. She has to run for her life, literally. The thing with this book is that you are like, from the beginning to the very end, you are really into it, like into the action, because the whole book is about Anna fleeing. There is not 1 second when I was bored with this book, as in like, it was really easy to lose yourself into the book and fear for Anna's life. So this book is a historical fiction. I would recommend it. However, do read the author's notes at the end to explain like the historical context of when and why this is happening. It was interesting and the writing was really good, and you were just like all the time in the story, because Anna had no moment where she could rest for real. She was always scared. There was always, something behind her. She was always looking back, and you really felt that in the book. And last but not least, I read Love Somebody by Rachel Roasek. So in this story, you follow 3 characters, Sam, Christian, and Rosalind. Sam and Christian are exes. They used to date, but they're friends now. And Christian falls in love with Rosalind. She's a girl that he doesn't really know much about, but she's very pretty, and he has the biggest crush on this girl. He's very awkward around people. He's a people pleaser, and he has no idea what kind of person to be around Rosalind. So he's going to ask his ex, now friend, Sam, to help him. So Sam, as a good friend, will start sending messages under Christian's name to Rosalind. So when Rosalind will think that she's falling in love with Christian, she's actually falling in love with Sam. So it's a love triangle situation. What I loved most about this book was, like, first off, the writing. It was deep, but in a simple way. Like, the writing style was really what got me into this book. Sometimes in books, characters have background and it doesn't shape them in any way. Like, what they've been through and what happened in their life are just a random anecdote, but you don't see the result of what happened to them in the person that they are now at the moment that the book takes place. And sometimes adding a background to a character, it just like completely falls flat. And here it didn't happen at all. Like, all the backgrounds, you really understand how the characters are, who they are, and their reactions to some of the things that happen to them because of what they've been through, because of what they've lived. They've all had really different upbringings, and you really see that in them. I got attached to all 3 characters. I really recommend this romance because it is a romance, but it's not really just like focus on the love story. It also focuses on the characters when they're not together, outside, in like their families, in their homes. There are also some great quotes in this book, and I think it's a beautiful book. So it was a great read, and I highly, highly recommend it. I read Defy Me by Tahereh Mafi, which is the 5th book in the Shadow Me series. I think I talked about this before. I'm not the biggest fan of the Shadow Me series, but I am a big fan of Tahereh Mafi, and I love her writing style. And I like this one so much better than the last one, which was called Restore Me. In this book, so many things are happening. Like, we got some action, the action that we didn't get in Restore Me, well, it was all in here. And it includes Reveal Me as well, which is a novella from Kenji's point of view. I think that was my favorite part of the book because Kenji is by far my all-time favorite character. So I really liked this one, and I think I needed that little push to read the other 2 that I have left. That's it for my little wrap up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know which books you read and what you thought about them. I will go now and do some more reading. Bye!